Many politicians are proposing that the voting age should be lowered to 16. Politicians should start asking themselves this question: what are some things that you did as a 16-year-old? Here are some points that can be argued on why they shouldn't lower the voting age to 16. A lot of 16-year-olds experiment with drugs and alcohol at such a young age, and they do ridiculous things like party. Younger kids are easily influenced by their peers. They usually go off of other people's opinions rather than their own opinions. Younger kids also want to experience new things, and they don't know anything about politics. Younger kids are also more vulnerable to lies, and they get manipulated by people's words. Younger kids they believe other people speaking to them, and they usually don't understand what politicians would be saying to them about like the laws that they're trying to make. Another thing is the frontal lobe of the brain isn't fully developed at the age of 16. The frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until about age 25. So good judgment isn't something that they can really excel in. Scientists have also found out that teens and adults' brains usually work different. So adult brains, they think more with the prefrontal cortex, which is the brain's more rational part of thinking. The rational thing that I think that they should do is, instead of lowering the age, I think that they should raise it till 21. I think that since if you're old enough to drink at 21 and purchase alcohol at 21, then you should be able to vote and make decisions about our country at 21. So if this is the case, then I think the argument should be that the voting age should be raised. There are many people who are fighting against the government to lower the voting age to 16. 16 years old was only 2 years ago for me, and at that age I knew nothing about the government. I didn't even know how to vote, let alone who to vote for or who was running in office. I never even paid attention to the news, and I mostly just wanted to go out on the weekends and hang out with my friends. If I were 16 still and they lowered the age to 16, I probably wouldn't make a very good decision because I didn't even know who was running in office then. Nancy Pelosi, she's an American politician that serves as a Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. At a recent press conference, Nancy Pelosi argued on why she believed that the voting age should be lowered to 16. In this conference, Nancy Pelosi said, "I think it's really important to capture kids when they're in high school, when they're interested in all of this, and when they are learning about government to be able to vote." Right now, I am currently a senior in high school, and I just took the subject government this past year. Being surrounded by high school students, I believe that none of us really know anything about politics, and none of us really know how to make rational decisions on who should be in office. I myself, I didn't really learn much in my government class or anything about politics, and I don't believe that a 16-year-old should be able to vote, especially in some schools, because my school requires that you take it your senior year, and some schools they wouldn't even require it. Some schools require to take it maybe their sophomore or freshman year. So if a sophomore or freshman were to take government or something, then they wouldn't really know anything either. I think that they should, if not raise it, then I think that they should keep the voting age at 18, and that would be a far better decision rather than lowering it. Even though 18 isn't as good, I think that an 18-year-old can make far better, more adult choices because they're about to go out into the real world and get a job and graduate and everything. But a 16-year-old, they can barely even get a job, and they're barely learning how to drive. I believe that this topic is very highly debated, especially right now in politics, because many people who are running for office are arguing about it. Such as the Democrat Bernie Sanders, he wants to lower the age to 16, and he wants to also abolish electoral college and allow felons to vote behind bars. I think that from what he said, I don't think that any of those laws should be granted, and I believe that more people should discuss this and argue against it before the voting age does get lowered, and less mature citizens will be making decisions on something that they don't know anything about.